Madhava Kunja Bihari. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक divine grace श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। रामाचार्य चल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोकुलनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। यमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि जय। So I would like to thank all of you for inviting me. I may not know you all personally, but I would like to make a small introduction to myself. I am the recipient of unlimited love and affection from at least Madhupati Prabhu and Devakinandan Prabhu and some others whom I met, few of you last time when I was there. So I consider I am talking with my own family here, and you also please be free in giving your comments or asking questions. So the topic for today, which I was allowed to choose, was the 5 potent forms of devotional service. I'll give a brief background and then we'll dive straight away into those 5 forms, and then we'll have some interaction, say after about 25-35 minutes. I hope it's okay with all of you. So this is chapter 13 of Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one of the pillars of the philosophical background which Prabhupada had when he began his efforts to spread Lord Chaitanya's message. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, uh, the world known him as a great saint, sometimes as a social reformer, sometimes as one of the main uh, devotees or one of the main teachers of the Bhakti movement. And of course, those fortunate souls who try to understand Mahaprabhu through the twin teachings of Rupa and Raghunath, Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Goswami, and their followers. I'm calling them fortunate because they are the ones who can truly taste the fruit of what Mahaprabhu came to give. And historically speaking, Mahaprabhu just gave 8 verses which we chant every day, at least in many temples. He called them the 8 instructions, Shiksha, that is instruction, and Ashtaka, 8 instructions. And time and again, Mahaprabhu said that I want to do so much, but I will do it through my Angas. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam. There is a hint given in Srimad Bhagavatam where Krishna in Kali Yuga, first of all, Krishna doesn't come in Kali Yuga. Is that a fact? Yes and no. In a discussion between Gopinath Acharya and the disciples of Sarvam Bhattacharya, and Prabhupada highly recommends that we should study that conversation where both parties are respectful. At the same time, they are talking about Mahaprabhu's uh, role from the point of Shastra. So Gopinath Acharya, who is the devotee and the brother-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya, he says that, oh well, Krishna does come, but he comes as a devotee. And they say, but no, there is no need for him to come. Kali Yuga is very fallen age. So it goes back and forth, and then Gopinath Acharya brings out the main weapon. How do you understand whether somebody is an incarnation or not? How do you understand the Vedas are truthful or not? And they start saying, well, we use logic, we use Anuman, and there Gopinath Acharya catches them and says, no, that's not adequate. In our mundane material life, also, our tastes, our preferences, our choices are based upon the so-called Mahajanas of material life. Somebody in school, she is a leader or whatever. So the clothes they wear, the perfumes they wear, the gadgets they have. So all of these are considered sort of Mahajanas who influence your choices. And you also have Mahajanas in material life. So also you have Mahajanas in spiritual life. So follow the path given by the Mahajanas. And then, of course, we have the wonderful, sweet story of how Mahaprabhu heard for 7 days continuously and didn't say a word. And then he kind of did everything to bring Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya back in the fold. So Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtak kind of goes from the beginning till the end of what should be the consciousness of a devotee. But when he said that I will be doing much, I'll achieve so much through my associates, he meant the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Echai Gosai Char Muhitara Das, Ta Sabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Narottam Das Thakur praised that whatever I have is just the remnants of food left by the Goswamis, or understanding their conclusions by staying close to their lotus feet. That is the sum and substance of my diet. That's what I eat. Mora pancha grass. The 5 kinds of things I eat is simply what the Goswamis have given. And we are also trying to do something like that today when we are trying to understand Rupa Goswami's way of explaining devotional service. First of all, most of us, at least I can say most of us here, we have some background from India. And one of the main things which we say in India is, oh, we are also devotees. Or sometimes some of you could have been accosted by your relations that why you need to do so acute, why devotional service with such kind of fervor, with such kind of enthusiasm, aren't you doing a bit too much? And then comes the thing that, hey, we are also devotees, we also go on Janmashtami to the temple, or we go to Devi's temple on this day or that on that other day. Well, Srila Prabhupada, being so ever careful and watchful, he did not call bhakti devotion, because he knew devotion can be something which can be, it is there, it may not be there. He called it devotional service. Now, the devotional service definition means somebody has been caught. Are you having a devotional attitude? Well, yes, well, no. Are you doing service, active service? So, these 2 words are hard to escape. Devotional service. Now, how do you do that bhakti? Where is it available? And I at least fight with my mind, thinking that, oh, this was good when India was in the 15th century, 16th century, but things were very peaceful, and milk and ghee was very cheap, and blah 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 blah. So historically speaking, it is all wrong. There was never a peaceful time, the kind of thing we imagine. Kings were always at war. There were always people who were fighting. And from one angle, perhaps these times could be the best of times that we could do devotional service. So, this is a lengthy chapter from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Prabhupada has very nicely summarized it. Prabhupada says here, Rupa Goswami has stated that 5 kinds of devotional activities. Now remember, these are activities are so potent that a small attachment for any one of them, these are all powerful activities. We can do all 5, 4, 3, 2, at least 1, but a small attachment for them can arouse devotional ecstasy. This is Prabhupada's guarantee, even in a neophyte. What are they? Residing in Mathura, Mathura Vas, worshipping the deity of the Lord, Vigraha Seva, Shri Murti Seva, reciting Shrimad Bhagavatam, Shrimad Bhagavat Path, serving a devotee, Vaishnav Seva, and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Nama Kirtana. So we will take them one by one. Now, Rupa Goswami, he deliberately uses a kind of negative thing for describing attachment to Shri Murti. Just see what this verse says. It's a Sanskrit verse, but we'll just go in the English translation. A gopi is telling another gopi, my dear friend, if you still have any desire to enjoy the company of your friends within this material world, then don't, just see the word here, then don't look upon the form of Krishna who is standing on the bank of Keshi Ghat. He is known as Govinda, and his eyes are very enchanting. He is playing upon his flute, and on his head there is a peacock feather, and his whole body is illuminated by the moonlight in the sky. Now, what does it mean that don't look? Is someone like Rupa Goswami actually telling the population to do not look at Krishna? So this is a Sanskrit alankar. It is an ornament of Sanskrit poetry that you disregard something externally and internally your aim is to glorify it to the maximum. So Prabhupada explains here that the purport of this verse is that if someone becomes attached to Sri Murti by worshipping at home, he will forget his relationships of so-called friendship, love, and society. Thus, it is the duty of every householder to install deities of the Lord at home and to begin the process of worshipping along with all of his family members. This will save everyone from such unwanted activities as going to clubs, cinemas, and dancing parties, and smoking, drinking, etc. All such nonsense will be forgotten if one stresses the worship of the deities at home. So, once Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajangri Prabhu had come to Chowpatty, and Jananivas Prabhu was invited by one Grihastha who said that we have this particular Tithi, which is very auspicious, and could you welcome deities at our home? And he gladly agreed. And then they were asking questions as to what exactly are the standards for a Grihastha. Now, Rohini Kumar Prabhu is a close friend of mine and is one of our Purohits. He has performed more than 250 or so Vaishnav and also non-Vaishnav marriage ceremonies. Non-Vaishnav because somebody saw him doing that. They were so attracted by the way he was doing and they invited him. So I asked him, when you go to Mayapur, ask Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj, or if you have your own reading of Satkriya Sar Dipika, the deity worship manual for Grihasthas, or all temples also, he assured me the only rule for Grihasthas is there are no rules. What do you mean, no rules? It means whether your home deities are facing south or north or east or west, or whether you have the regular standards in a Prabhupada temple like 6 offerings, 6 artis. That is not the main point. The main point is you should consider your deity worship at home to be a smaller version, mathematically speaking, a subset of what happens in a properly uh, maintained Srila Prabhupada's temple, where Prabhupada's standards are maintained. And then, so deity worship at home for Grihasthas, I just call it flexi mode. It's totally in flexi mode. You just do it. And one of the main things which Jananas Prabhu encouraged them is they were just husband, wife, both children married. So they said that why don't you just come together every day, fix a time, whether it is early morning or it is late evening, and just chant for the pleasure of Radha Krishna. And I'm so happy that all these years, maybe 9, 10, 11 years have passed, but every time I meet this family, they say we are still doing it. And in fact, that is one of the main nucleus of our family life. So, so this is simple. Anybody can do it. You don't need to have only Radha Krishna or Jagannath or Gaur Nitai. Depending upon your environment, you can choose whatever. And the worship also is in flexi mode, regularly offering. We eat every day, so we also serve the deity something every day. We drink water every day. So that should be the understanding. So this service is very, very powerful. Um, so this is something about deity worship at home, which is, of course, deity worship in a proper temple is something where you can always go there and you can always do things in the association of other devotees. But the main thing here is that you have something at home. We go on to the next point, that is hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam. So, Shrimad, beautiful. Shri means beauty. Shri means Lakshmi Devi. Shri means Radharani. So, in a Bhagavatam purport itself, Prabhupada explains that less fortunate persons are not at all interested in hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam. And this is a very important statement which I am going to say now. The process is simple, but the application is difficult. In fact, I find this with all aspects of bhakti. Is bhakti difficult to understand? Not really. That there is Krishna, you are told that Krishna is Supreme Lord, and then there are you, the spirit soul, and further description is you are a part and parcel of him. So just as a part serves the whole, you have to serve the whole, and that's it. Bhakta, Bhagavan, Bhakti. Sevak, Savior, Seva. Talk it, I mean, look at it from any angle. So, one letter Prabhupada said, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and a morning program, of course, he's talking of this to temple devotees. He's telling the manager, you must see that people under you strictly follow the regulatory principles, the 4 prohibitions, as well as the devotional practices of rising early, taking morning bath, putting on tilak, attending Mangal Arti, chanting Japa 16 rounds, and attending Srimad Bhagavatam class. This is the duty of all of my initiated disciples, whether they are big or they small. And this could be a problem at that time or now also. Actually, in our movement, Prabhupada is saying here, there is no such thing as big or small. Everyone is a devotee. So everyone is expected to follow the devotional practices. And just see how Prabhupada is sweet, innocent, and practical here. Here in Vrindavan, I am enjoying hearing my disciples speak. So it's not that Prabhupada was speaking every day. He's saying, I'm enjoying how my disciples are improving, how they are progressing. So everyone must attend the classes twice daily. During the morning and evening time, there should be no business, simply kirtan, chant, dance, and be purified. Do not be a Paramhamsa, that now I do not have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Don't be a better Paramhamsa than your Guru Maharaj. I go and sit and I enjoy the lectures and how they are performing kirtan. So as I am doing, so you must do also. Actually, in India, somebody just pointed out that there is such a problem with understanding Krishna. What is that problem? People just know Krishna as Makanchor, as Natkatalala, and whatever. And then they know him as the one who performed Ras Leela. What about Krishna's killing demons, which are the anarthas? What about the research of that? So, those who are Krishna Bahirmukh, those who don't know what Krishna is, who or what Krishna is, they are suffering. And then those who claim to know because of half knowledge or less knowledge, they also are not making progress. So therefore, we have Srimad Bhagavatam where we go from Canto 1 to Canto 9 very, very religiously. Prabhupada's assurance is, by the time you end the reading of your ninth canto, you are sure to become God realized. Self-realized, God realized are the same thing. If you realize yourself that myself is a servant of Krishna, that is self-realization. And if you realize Krishna is the Supreme Lord and everybody has to serve him, that is God realization. No difference in that. So Prabhupada was making his preparations for leaving for India. And somebody said, Swamiji, I heard that somehow you got a ticket for going to India, for leaving India and going to America. Um, and Prabhupada in all humility said, I am not going to America. Srimad Bhagavat is going to America. Now that was the faith Srila Prabhupada had. And therefore he put so much of an effort to give Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, midway while giving his Bhagavatam purports, he thought that I may not live long enough to give the full Krishna stories. So he interrupted Krishna Bhagavatam translation and started Krishna book. So therefore we have the essence of 10th canto as the Krishna book. Thirdly, we have the point of Vaishnava association. Now, what exactly is Vaishnava association? So this is 1:18:13 Srimad Bhagavatam. Tulayam lavena pi nasargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya bhartyanam kimuta shishaha. The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. So what exactly is association? Well, we are the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Society means we come together, there is association of each other. I personally am very impressed by one definition given by one of our senior sannyasis, that Vaishnava association means, now it could be coming together for a pizza party, for this discussion, for some discussion about family affairs. As Grihasthas, you are supposed to be not neglectful of material mundane dealings. But then you have to understand that association means at the end of that session, you come out of that session enthused, encouraged, for performing your sadhana bhakti. Point number one. Point number two is there is a slight improvement in your desire to spread Harinam Sankirtan through books, prasadam, or Bhagavad Katha, whatever. So use this small 2-point checklist that whether what we did today was Vaishnava association or it was just plain friends coming together and not much happening. Now, sadhana bhakti, excuse me, sadhana bhakti means that we will have setbacks, we will have some slip ups. So, this is just to keep things focused. Then we have the point of Mathura Vas, that we are said that you reside in Vrindavan. Now, this was possible for Rupa Goswami. He left everything and Chaktva Turunamashesha Mandalpati Shrenim Datuchavat Bhutva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya Kaupina Kantha Sritau Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugau Sajiv Gopalakau. They left everything at the drop of a hat, as they say, and went and stayed in Vrindavan. Well, they didn't just go and stay in Vrindavan, they were also following their spiritual master, who is none other than Lord Chaitanya. So Srila Prabhupada also established Mayapur, Vrindavan. But knowing that not everybody will be able to go physically and stay in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami also gives the formula of staying in Vrindavan in your consciousness. That we have to cultivate attachment for Priti Tad Vasati Sthale, to develop attachment for where Krishna appeared, where Krishna performed his pastimes. But sadhana bhakti, as I said, means all of us are in a different starting point, and just like in a kindergarten, preschool, the only thing people do is just their kids are there for 3 hours and that's good enough. But all the way up to PhD, everything is education. So initially, physically going to Vrindavan may be the worst thing we can do to our spiritual life. And I'll explain what that means. That if we rush and stay there and cannot adjust to the climate variations, to the people around us, it's not for nothing that Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, you go and stay in Vrindavan, but don't associate intimately with the Brajvasis, because you may not be able to know how they behave, what they behave, why they do what they do. So, our formula is to stay in Vrindavan consciousness, which means we hear about Vrindavan, we read about Vrindavan, and whenever we get an opportunity, we say it's our good fortune and we say, thank you, Krishna. I'm really happy that I was given this opportunity. So we have discussed Mathura Vas, Archa Vigraha Seva, Bhagavad Path. Now we have Vaishnava Association. Now we have the last one, that is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Of course, that is one of the main themes of Srila Prabhupada's movement. He was happy that people are chanting Hare Krishna. And how exactly we chant, that's a long process. We have CC Madhya Leela 6.241. Bhattacharya is asking Mahaprabhu, which item is the most important in execution of devotional service? And the Lord replied that the most important item was the chanting of the holy name. So, here is one verse which we all know, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Kirtanya Sada Hari, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatir Anyatha. So this is just one point Prabhupada is emphasizing on. So in this age, especially in Kali Yuga, one who does not join in Kirtan is not a devotee at all. He is outside, Bahiranga, Bahirarthamanina. The Shravan Kirtan is the first business of a devotee, those who are actually devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always engaged in Kirtan. He advised, Kirtanya Sada Hari. It's not that one who is advanced doesn't need to take part in Kirtan. That is nonsense. Sada means always, whether you are advanced or not advanced. Speaking is also Kirtan, but unless one hears, how can one speak? So Mahaprabhu daily joined in Kirtan, 4 hours daily at Jagannath Puri. That was his regular program. Then he organized 4 parties, 16 men in each party. So 4 different parties in 4 different directions would perform Kirtan. And Mahaprabhu seemed to be present in every party. That was another opulence of Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada is giving this information in a NOD class, Nectar of Devotion class in Calcutta. So as with that one statement, which I feel very important, the process is simple, the application is difficult. So when we chant every day, are we making an advancement? Well, sometimes devotees feel, I also talk to myself that, am I making advancement? Then you may say, oh, well, at least I'm not making any regression. That also is a kind of, at least maintaining the status quo is good enough. Bhurujan Prabhu, whom I really admire for his dedication to chanting japa and improving others' japa, one day he revealed that, you know how long it takes to actually come to a proper chanting level? And nobody was willing to take a guess. Of course, why would someone take a guess? Somebody said, well, after you have performed your anartha nivritti, or no, 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 just tell me name, just tell me the number. And since nobody's willing to take any risk, he said, according to the conversation, not exactly documented, it's not there in the database, but Prabhupada hinted 40 years. And the whole temple hall was like, oh my God. But he said, well, from one point of view, it is 40 years. From one point of view, well, it is good enough. At least I won't take the holy name cheaply. I won't say that, like we say in India, oh, I become a devotee. Oh, I also chant properly. I'll end with one funny story. Funny, but not that funny also. I had just begun to join programs at Chopati. This was 1988. And there was one shopkeeper who would say that I practically am surviving on chanting the holy name. अरे भगवान का नाम लेके तो जी रहे हैं बस. And I was thinking, wow, this is something nice. So there was one devotee who would take regular Gita classes. He said, why don't you chant on beats? He said, no, no, no. We are not so fruitive. We are not so numerically alert that, oh, I chanted 3 today, 4 today. What is this? Why quantify something? But he came every week for the class, took prasad. So there was some purification. One day he said, all right, give me a set of beats. I can assure you I chant at least more than all of you who chant 16 rounds here or whatever. The next time he came, his mood was a bit subdued. And he said, it's amazing. I don't know how I can take this. I used to think that all day only when some customers would call, I would interrupt. Otherwise, I would just chant, whatever. Now I took these beats. Now I have to count. I'm ashamed to say I don't even chant one round. So, of course, we all encourage him, and the preacher also encouraged, saying that this is the extent the mind should not be trusted. Somebody whose ego feels is a devotee, somebody intellectually feels that I understand the importance of the process, and somebody whose mind says that you are doing a lot for a businessman, a busy businessman like you. But when he actually started counting, it was not even one round. So it was good that It was a shock for him, but it was also a revelation for all of us. How seriously we have to take these 5 activities. And as Prabhupada uh, promises that a small attachment for them can rouse ecstasy even in the heart of a neophyte. And that is at least my hope. Hare Krishna, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. So now we have some time for an open session. Any questions, comments, corrections are welcome.
Hare Krishna, please raise your hand if there are any questions.
What I do in India, we also have a chat. If you, Prabhu's Matajis, can look at the bottom of your screen, there is a chat, Alt H. And if you feel like you want to just ask or make a comment, you can do that, and I can read and I can also speak for the benefit of others. So either you raise your hand, unmute yourself, or ask a question in chat.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavats, Krishna Karuna Das here.
Dandat Pranam, Prabhu.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Really appreciate that, Prabhuji. I have a question.
Yeah.
You told in today's class that a Grihastha should keep deity worship very simple and focus more on chanting. Is the correct, Prabhu? My first question. And if you said, okay, then I'll continue.
Well, just repeating Rupa Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Jananyas Prabhu, keep it in a flexi mode. You have, it's like a young couple. So very basic deity worship. The family increases, a small baby, and you may not be able to do everything what you did before. No wonder, and no problem. Another kid, okay, another interruption or whatever. 12 years down the line, 14 years down the line, the kids have grown up. Now again, you can increase the intensity, time spent, or whatever. So that's what I call flexi mode.
Sure, Prabhuji. Because I don't know whether it's misconception or in reality, they say that if you have Gaurunata, it can be simple, and if you have like Radha Shyamsundar or any other deities, Radha Krishna or Jagannath, has to be a little bit more elaborate. So I just want to clarify that point, Prabhuji.
Well, that is an angle taken by when you see Seva Aparadh. So for Gaur Nitai, Prabhupada assured there are no Seva Aparadhs because Gaur Nitai refused to accept any kind of offense. Jagai Madai Paryanta, as they are described, that they don't accept any offense. Like once one devotee was trying to install Gaur Nitai at home, and just to explain Nitai Chandra's unlimited mercy, Radhanath Maharaj kind of half humorously said, well, you welcome them today, you are fed them and you are feeding their Mahaprasad to all the devotees. From tomorrow, if you don't feed them at all, still they will never leave. And the devotee was shocked. But of course, Maharaj, he said, I don't plan to do that. I plan to take care of them. Maharaj said, I know you will. But I am just telling you the extent of Nitai Bajaram's magnanimity for the age of Kali. Srila Prabhupada told Dhananjay Prabhu, he was talking about European cultures where every, like Germany or Belgium, they have different ethnic groups and dresses, and they make those dolls, and tourists come and buy those dolls. And Prabhupada said, hey, wait a minute. What if we make Gaur Nitai dolls? and all the tourists who come to Vrindavan, Western tourists, they can buy those dolls and they can take them at home. And he said, but Prabhupada, I don't think they will worship them. Prabhupada said, don't worry about that. At least let Gaunitai go at their homes. So this is the extent of when Mahaprabhu says, or Mahaprabhu is described as Patra Patra na dekhi sthana sthan. It doesn't consider who is a fit candidate, who is not a fit candidate. It doesn't consider whether this is a proper place that I could be worshipped or it is not a proper place. So we need to be very surgically precise in our understanding of the mood of Gaur Nitai vis-a-vis the worship of Radha Krishna, where a lot of seva aparadh is to be considered. And then people can make their individual choices.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice to explain.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Prabhuji, nice. Thank you very much. Nice, wonderful class.
Thank you.
Elaborating on the point which you made, Shyamananda Prabhu.
Yeah.
I remember Jalanivas Prabhu, when he was at our center a few years back, he was mentioning Grahastha has deities at their home, but at the temple there's deities. No, the temple deities is at the center of the community. So if he's serving at the temple, automatically he's serving at his home. Is that the right understanding?
Yes. At the same time, there is bhakti is a matter of taste. So just to support what you are saying, this is 1992, and do you know them personally or at least by their names? Adi Keshav Prabhu and Muralidhar Prabhu, they're both doctors. Muralidhar Prabhu is a dentist, and Adi Keshav Prabhu, okay, you may not know them personally. So our Rasamrit Maharaj was preaching to them, and he was telling Maharaj that now we have these two doctors and they are very serious, and every week at least once they come to the temple early morning and stay till noon breakfast. That is their off day. So we had this small Vijay Utsav murtis, metal deities of Radha Gopinath, and they were called Radha Gopijan Vallabh. So Maharaj wanted a slightly bigger set. So he said, should I give this to one of these devotees? They can improve their bhakti sadhana by having deity worship. So we were having a small discussion, and then finally Maharaj himself said, no. If we give them that, they won't be able to come to the temple, because they're coming to the temple is enthusing many other families. So you're right on that point that it depends upon everybody's need and focus. If somebody is doing regulated service, now I stay in the ashram, but I've seen that many times grihasthas are more regulated. It is not unusual to find in Chopati we have Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So sometimes Thursday and Friday mainly, 2 days where the entire morning deity worship is taken care by grihasthas. So I am rushing to the temple at 4:58 because 5 o'clock is Mangal Aarti, and I see that 3 grihasthas have already come at 4:25, and they have come from Kandivli, they have come from Sion, which are like far distance away suburbs of Mumbai. Why? So they say we can do it once in a week, it is manageable. But I say that no, just the fact that I can see you here is so enthusiastic for us who stay in the temple full time. So in this way, grihasthas can also kind of do their part, and the whole community may be benefited from their service attitude. Yeah, so you are correct.
Yeah. Wonderful example. I remember years back when I was in Bombay, and one time studying chapati, in the guest rooms, my Guru Maharaj was staying, and I was staying outside in the lobby, sleeping in the lobby, and next to me was Dwakadish Prabhu,
Okay.
who was sleeping overnight because next day morning he had service on the altar. So he was coming all the way from Mira Road or somewhere.
Mira Road.
Yeah.
He and Mataji,
Yes.
I could guess for the last 22 or 25 years, they are coming every Thursday without fail.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes. Any other discussion? Any questions from the group?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad.
Yes, Sadhu.
All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, if you can shed a little more light on from these five, is there, we hear that they feed to each other.
Correct.
Is there one devotional service that's not more potent, I don't know the word, what I should use, but like you start, you let your first light, and then from that others lit up. So is there one devotional service from these five that if that's done properly and with punctuality and with caring, then others will let up in that spirit? If you can please say a little more on that part.
Yeah, actually you are right that when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu mentioned chanting of the holy name as the foundation. Now, although we say even in Hindi, Kali Yug Keval Naam Adhara, and almost every bhakti saint in India, whether Gaudiya or non-Gaudiyas, whatever, they have stressed on the importance of the holy name. But Prabhupada here summarized the whole thing. The understanding is easy, but the process is easy, but the application difficult. So, like sometimes I fight with my ego that how come Kali Yuga is so formidable and the solution could be just moving your lips. And then to my amazement, I found there is a verse in the 11th canto where people of Satya Yuga are saying, when they are told that later, many, many millions of years later, when things will be very fallen, people in Kali Yuga will be just moving their lips for self-realization, and they say, it's too much. So they can't believe it, that it is that easy. So in Kali Yuga, somebody can give up process because it is too easy. They want some complications at least. So the holy name, chanting of the holy name, Nam Seva, is the one which, as in your words, if you light it up and do it sincerely, sincere, serious, two words Prabhupada uses in one Krishna book paragraph, that bhakti has to be sincere and serious. And that will give light to all the other four. Like, it is sad to see, but those without a chanting habit, if they go into Srimad Bhagavatam and say, I have so many questions about Bhagavatam, about the planetary systems, about the number of wives this fellow had, the number of soldiers this person had, that's not the purpose of Bhagavatam. Or you, in an immature way, you are retired and you may say, let me retire in Mathura. Mathura was means Vrindavan. So search for a nice row house, a bungalow, or a gated community, and then you find the climate is horrible. It is deadly chilly cold in winter and deadly hot in summer, and then there are dogs and pigs running open in the street, open sewers, and gangland things happening. You say, hey, I came for Radhe Radhe Bolo Vrindavan mein Dolo, and it's not happening. So Mathuravas can be, and Narottam Das Thakur actually said that in a neophyte stage, don't just jump and stay and associate even in a dham, because if you don't have somebody whose fingers you can clasp and heap, that acharya can show you around, don't even go there. So Mathuravas, Bhagavat Shravan, and elaborate deity worship, all of these may actually not give the taste, but it is guaranteed that one who has done proper Nam Seva, for that person the taste is never denied. So we can see it from that point of view.
Thank you so much.
So should we end here? It's almost an hour. And thank you all for allowing me to serve once again.
Thank you very much, Shyamananda Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to you and your
Thank you
wonderful
so much.
service.
Hare Krishna.
So we are very fortunate to hear from Shyamananda Prabhu. Sorry, I forgot to introduce him at the
Hey,
start.
come on.
Shyamananda Prabhu is a wonderful dear friend for many, many years. He's also temple president of his Concho party. And I've learned a lot from him, from my few years which I spent in Mumbai, and inspired by him and by his wonderful service. So thank you very much, Shyamananda Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please, Namas, will again, we have this virtual Sangha going on on weekends, and we like to hear more from you, Prabhuji.
All right, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shyamananda Prabhu. All glories to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
To you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you. Thank you.